Today, on the deep dive, we're really zooming in on a vital challenge for anyone in customer experience.
Which is?
How do you actually show the return on investment, the ROI for all your CX work?
The big question.
The big one.
Right. Imagine you've got this brilliant idea. Maybe it's an AI chatbot or something.
Mhm.
But the CFO is just sitting there saying, show me the numbers.
Exactly. That's the hurdle.
And we want to help you clear it.
Precisely. And look, it's usually not because they think CX is unimportant. No,
Right.
it's more that the finance folks, they operate with a different lens.
That's
They
okay.
speak the language of business, of finance, dollars and cents.
So for CX projects to get that green light,
So you need to translate our value into their term.
okay, that makes sense. Translation. So our source and talk about this. CFO mindset,
Yeah, they operate on a different sort of triad than maybe CX leaders do.
not journey maps.
Not initially, no. Their focus is laser sharp on return, resource allocation, and risk.
Return, resource allocation, risk.
Yeah.
It's purely financial.
Pretty much. And understanding this is like your first big strategic step.
Right.
So return. When a CFO hears return, they're not picturing happy customers immediately.
No warm fuzzies.
Not primarily.
Yeah.
The question is, what's the actual quantifiable financial gain from this, and when do we see it?
Concrete numbers.
Concrete numbers. Think dollars, not just delight. Every CX metric needs that potential dollar sign attached somehow.
Right. It's not enough to say, oh, customers will be happier.
Nope.
You've got to show maybe that a jump in Net Promoter Score, NPS,
Mm-hmm.
directly leads to more revenue. Like one source mentioned, maybe a 10-point NPS lift could mean a 15% revenue increase, something specific like that.
Exactly. That's the kind of clarity that gets attention, that resonates.
Okay. Then the second part of their triad.
Resource allocation. CFOs are constantly juggling. Where does the company's money, its people, its time go?
Competing priorities.
Always. So their question is this CX project a really smart, efficient use of our limited resources?
Or is it just,
Or is it just a shiny object? Something
Yeah.
trendy, but maybe not essential for the core business right now?
the shiny object syndrome? Yeah.
They need to see it's a wise investment, not just a nice to have.
Okay. So
Hmm.
return, resource allocation. What's the third one?
Risk. And this one is powerful. Sometimes CX leaders kind of misleveraging this. CFOs aren't just looking at the potential upside. They're equally, maybe even more worried at the downside.
The cost of not doing something.
Precisely. What are the financial dangers if we don't invest in this? What could it cost us if we just stand still on CX?
So back to the chatbot example.
Yeah.
It's not just the potential gains, but maybe the risk is losing customers to competitors who already have great digital support.
Exactly. Losing that recurring revenue. Our sources really stress that inaction has a cost, often a big one.
Okay, that's a really important frame.
Mm-hmm.
Return, resources, risk.
And to talk effectively about these things, the materials give us a really practical framework. The 5 C's.
The 5 C's. Okay, like a checklist.
Sort of. They're guidelines for translating that sometimes fuzzy CX value into the hard-edged language of finance that CFOs get.
Those 5 C's: clarity, cost efficiency, consequences, credibility, strategic connectivity. That's a really solid framework.
It really helps frame the conversation.
Okay, so pulling all this together, the CFO mindset, the 5 C's, the African market insights, what are the really practical, actionable steps for you, our listener?
Okay, the call to action boils down to 3 key things, really.
Let's hear them.
First, and maybe the most important, connect with your finance teams. Seriously. Go talk to them.
Don't hide from them.
No. Learn their language. Understand their dashboards, what they look at every day. Find out what kind of evidence they need for a solid business case.
Build that bridge.
Build that bridge.
Oh.
Collaboration is absolutely key for credibility and getting their support. You need them on your side.
Okay, number 1.
Yeah.
Connect with finance. What's 2?
Second, quantify CX value. Always. Get in the habit of framing everything with ROI in mind.
Everything.
Everything. When you talk about a project, its results, be ready with the financial benefits. Package your wins in executive language.
So not just NPS went up.
No, it's this project cut churn, saving us $100. Remember that phrase? Numbers open doors.
But stories seal the deal. Love that.
Exactly. Use both.
Okay. Connect with finance, quantify value. What's the third step?
Third, seek mentorship. Look, navigating internal company politics and actually linking CX to the bottom line can be tricky.
Yeah, it's not always straightforward.
Not at all. So find people who've done it successfully, inside your company, maybe outside, people who've walked this path.
Learn from their experience.
Their guidance, their practical tips, their insights, absolutely invaluable. Don't try to reinvent the wheel entirely on your own.
Great advice. So, for everyone listening, now that you got a clearer picture of the why and definitely the how of connecting CX to that bottom line,
Yeah.
what's the one small step? What's one thing you'll commit to doing this week, maybe even today, to start building that financial bridge in your organization?
Good question. Maybe it's just starting to think about how financial metrics could fit into your next CX report or team meeting.
Could be. Definitely something to chew on.